Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and this is the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what? Guessed what? Guessed what? I don't think I've ever messed that up before. Guess what?
Hard words.
I finished my AP tests this week, and I had to take them all online.
Right.
Because, reasons.
Yes.
But, it was supposed to be a lot easier than, what it would have been, and I think it was.
Okay.
But I don't get my scores back till July.
Yeah.
So it's a long wait. But I think it went okay.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I took 2 of them. So
Okay.
it wasn't terrible. But
Yeah. I feel like the whole world's finally coming around to my side of things. They're like, oh, AP testing, you can only do that in person. There's no way you could do it online. And then also now we can do it online.
right.
Yeah, okay, I kind of had that feeling all along.
Uh-huh.
Same thing with school. No, you have to have 8 hours a day. That's the correct amount in order to learn like a normal human being. And then, right, yeah, it's all kind of, there's a lot of wasted time there, maybe. I don't know. We're here for piano. Sorry.
That's okay. That's fine.
So, it just makes me angry. Let's not be angry. Let's be happy.
What was it about your pen that you said earlier?
We're not saying those things out loud.
It wasn't horrible.
I turned the mics off on purpose. Okay, so the first note that we need is an A flat. So in order to find an A flat, you're going to take any group of 3 black notes and just put the one in the middle. Actually, that is an A flat, but the reason it's an A flat.
Jamin,
Yeah.
We're seeing from the chat that it sounds glitchy.
Sounds glitchy.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a feeling this is going to fix that, and I don't know why, but hang on. Okay, that should have worked. I don't know. I think that did because I've got the monitor on the side that's going like crazy. Okay, so I'm going to assume that's working now. And our first note is an A flat, so we're going to play that note right there. Now, what I was about to get into is the reason that's an A flat is that this note right here, the one right above that note, is an A. And flat means slightly lower than. So an A flat is an A, but it's slightly lower than an A. So that's the version of an A that is called an A flat. So we're going to need 2 of those, and we're going to say these words out loud. And saying the words out loud is going to be really important. When, your, and then after that, we're going to go to a G, which is just 1 note down. Not a G flat, because as you can see, this one has that like little flat symbol inside there, like the little half a heart on a string. And then this, or like a smushed up lowercase b. And then this G is just a regular G. And so that would be we, re. It's actually 3 different notes. We, re. So we're going to play G and F and E flat for the word weary. Weary. So what we have so far is A flat, G, F, E flat. And we're going to say out loud those words. When, your, weary. Now, if you're really super brave, you're going to actually sing those notes out loud. And that is way better than just saying the words out loud. But if nothing else, at least say those words out loud. I just know that, especially for adults, we're like afraid of singing and like don't like to hear our own voice and stuff. And everyone feels like, I don't have a very good voice, except for the people who feel like I've got a great voice. And a lot of times they don't. But that's, one of those other things that is not music. So we won't get into all of that. So then we're going to go back to the A flat and say feelin' small when we play an A flat, B flat, G. So try those along with me if you would at home. We're going to start on this A flat, and we're going to play when you're weary, feeling small. And if you can make it that far, I think you're going to be just fine on this song. If you can't make it that far, just go practice a little bit more. I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. If you know where all the notes are, these are all the notes we've used so far. So A flat, G, F, E flat, A flat, B flat, G. So they're just those 5 notes so far. And then we're going to go up to a C, and then up to a D flat, which is this note right here, and then C, B flat. So those 3 notes right there make up the words when tears are in, and then your eyes is going to be E flat, C. And you want to pay attention to when the notes go up or when they're going down. So you can see from this B flat, it goes from there up to E flat and then down to C, as opposed to like some people might be tempted to go B flat and then E flat and then C. But that would be from B flat down to E flat. And this one goes from B flat up, because you can see this E flat right here is higher than that B flat right there. So we're going to go B flat, E flat, C. And those are the words in your eyes. If we do all of that together, we would have when you're weary, feeling small. And then when tears are in your eyes. Okay, and the rhythms kind of matter here. If you already know the song, then you probably have an idea of where those notes are supposed to go, and you can just ignore the written rhythms and just play those notes where you feel like those words are supposed to happen. And then we have the 2 C's, and then B flat, G, F, E. This G, F, E thing keeps coming back, where we have like 2 words, 2 syllables in the lyrics, but we've got 3 notes. Them all. Them all. So I will dry them all. Okay, cool. Then on the bottom part of this right here, I wish this one repeated more, but it just keeps going into different sections of the song. So we're gonna go from G, and by the way, if it feels like I'm going kind of fast right now through the song and I'm not going slow enough for you to play along, that's because I'm going fast right now and not really going slow enough for you to play along. The goal is here that you would like pause the video and you're gonna go back and like keep trying each of the sections with me, because it'll probably take like an absolute beginner, I would say on average, somewhere between 10 and 70 minutes to get down all of these notes, and then like an additional 30 to 60 minutes of polishing before like it really feels like you can play the melody and have it be nice and smooth. And then if you don't know your note names, it's gonna take even longer than that, because each time you have it like an A flat, like finding an A flat, that's a whole new challenge. So it feels like I'm going too fast right now. That's because I'm probably going too fast right now, unless you're in the intermediate or advanced level and you're just waiting for me to get done with this so you can play the chord stuff. But if this is still a struggle for you, don't feel bad. You are in the majority. G, F, E flat, F is I'm on your side. Now you see a bunch of swoopy lines right here connecting multiple Fs. That's because all of those Fs are all tied together, and that those lines right there, those swoopy lines, are called ties. And so that's where you're just going to tie those Fs all together as one big fat F.
Hey, Jamin.
Yeah.
It's time for our... Oh, you can't even see me.
I can't see you at all.
It's time for our feature of the day.
Yes,
which
and
today is our artist of the day.
All right, and you picked our feature of the day today because you were super eager to tell us about...
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so in like the recent weeks...
Just say it.
What? Oh.
Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead. In the recent weeks.
Yes, in the recent weeks, I have rediscovered a favorite artist of mine. Her name is Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she has a last name.
How do we
Just Aurora.
How do we find Aurora?
You can look her up on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Type in Aurora. My favorite song by her is called The River.
I've got a feeling that if I just
it's
look
the one
up
I played earlier.
on YouTube, hang on. YouTube, Aurora.
Yeah, you just type
Really?
type in Aurora.
And you just come up with her? That's
Yep,
her?
That's her.
Right there?
Yep. She's my new favorite.
I guess that's what happens when you have 1.65 million subscribers.
Yes.
Okay, I've never heard of her before, but
Yeah.
you know, whatever. I'm old, and YouTube is.
That's okay. Well, I discovered her a few years ago.
Okay.
And like I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know.
But she's awesome,
But
according to you.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
like my favorite.
Cool. Well, I wanted to also show people my favorite.
Yeah, that's
who's a
what I
guy
thought we were starting with. Threw me for a loop there.
almost my name, and I love it when people confuse the two of us
what?
because this guy is he's miraculous.
That's a
His
cool
name
looking
is
like profile thing
Jamin
too.
Jacob Collier, not Jamin Collier. His name is Jacob Collier.
Y'all,
and,
like my new favorite artist. His name is Jamin
me.
Collier.
I love me. So yeah,
Yes.
you'll want to check out his videos. The guy's just absolutely amazing. His favorite artist is Stevie Wonder, and his teacher, one of his teachers, is Herbie Hancock. So if you've been around me for very long, you know both of those names quite well. And this guy's just an amazing prodigy. I think he's like 20 years younger than me and at least 20 times as good as me. So yeah, so go check out Jacob Collier. I knew you were going to say that when it came out of my mouth. I was like, oh, can I make it through without her saying something?
You cannot.
Okay. Well, anyway,
okay,
you can go watch him and make your own decisions about that. But it's time to get back to our lesson after this short break. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us. Okay, to finish this thing off, we played I'm on your side, and we tied all those together. And then O is B flat, and then you can see that these two B flats here are tied together, but the third one is not. So we do play that other B flat. So it's actually two B flats there. And that's when, times, get, and then this is the same thing as we did before where we went G, F, E flat, but this is in the opposite direction. Ra-ah-off. So ra-off is the E flat, F, G, and then we've got B flat all the way up to G. This is off your screen. Kendra, if you want to zoom out a little bit, then we'll see. We've got B flat up to G. There we go. Just can't be found, and you can see that swoopy line. You'll start to recognize, to see that and realize, oh, okay, that just means that we're gonna have a really long note, which is kind of what that indicates. So you're actually not gonna play this one over here because that's tied over from before. And then when the notes that everybody knows, like a bridge, or I guess the words that everyone knows, the melody that everyone knows, G, F, E flat, D, C, C, B flat, G, B flat. So we probably want to practice that part up right there. Like a bridge over troubled water. Then we have C, E flat, F, G, E flat tied over to that other E flat. And then we do the exact same thing again. Like a bridge over troubled. Then this one's gonna, instead of going water with the G and the B flat, this one's gonna go up to C and E flat. Water, that should be water, and then I will lay me down. That's tied over, and that is all of the notes for the melody. If we try all of those notes again together, it would be something like this. We can try playing this together, and if you mess it up, that's all right. Just go back, rewind, and try it again, or practice on your own, then come back and try it again. It would go something like, when you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. And then we get this G right here. I'm on your side, a bunch of Fs. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Okay, so that is all of the notes for the melody. If you cannot yet play the melody and say the words out loud, then I would recommend you go back and you keep practicing that. But if you can, then you're probably ready for the intermediate version where we start to add in a little bit of left hand. So let's go to that right now. So it's time to transition into the intermediate portion of the lesson. And of course, intermediate is a worthless term because we're all intermediate players. Everybody, you and I included, have people who are looking up to us, who are thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. And you and I both have people that we're looking up to, thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. So this is just the part of the lesson where you have permission, if you have found some little nugget of something that is difficult to do, but that makes sense, to take off and go practice it. Don't feel bad about that. Of course, if you want to stick around, you might pick up some extra stuff too, and we'd love to keep chatting with you. But I just want to let all of the new students know you're not supposed to try everything in every lesson. And I want to give everybody else a chance to go get something to drink and take a bathroom break. But it's time to get back to it. Let's go. Okay, so all we're going to do here is play the roots of the chords while we're trying to incorporate that melody. So what we really care about here is the E flat here. Now, E flat also stands for an E flat major chord. We're not worried about the E flat major chord right now. We just care about the E flat part of that. And then over here, this is an A flat over E flat. So whenever we have a slash like this, we're not going to pay any attention to the part that's on the left side of the slash. We just care about the lower part of the fraction, which means the part on the right. That's what we're going to play on the left. Yeah, you heard that right. So we have to imagine this is a fraction and that it's A flat over E flat because that's what the intent is here. So it's supposed to be A flat, something up here that is A flat-ish, which we'll talk about later, over on the low end an E flat. So we care about the right side of this fraction. We're going to play that on the left side of the piano because it's the lower part of the fraction. We play it on the lower part of the piano. So then we have E flat, and so then an E flat again right here. And then it just continues like that. We've got a D flat and an A flat and an E flat. And then right here, this is the part where we're going to start ripping apart parts of the chord. So this says FM, which stands for F minor. Right now, we don't care about the minor part. We will eventually. We just care about the F part of it. So we're just going to play the F and completely forget about the M. Then we have an E flat. And I think it just stays consistent after that. We do have this thing right here. So this is an E flat to an E flat 7. We're gonna play an E flat to an E flat. We're not gonna worry about the 7 part at all. So take off any of the M's or any of the 7s, and whenever you have a slash right there, just play the lower part of the slash, the part that's on the right, which is the lower part of the fraction. We're gonna play that down here. So this is E flat over B flat. So we play a B flat because that's the part that is underneath the E flat. Are there any other ones in here? I think that's it. We'd have a DIM right here. So we're just gonna play the B right there and not worry about what the diminished part is, the DIM stands for. Not yet, at least, until we get to the advanced level. But if we did that, just pay attention to my left hand if you're trying to incorporate this stuff, and then you can come back and play along with me. It'd be something like, When you're weary. And then another E flat. Feeling small. When tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. E flat to A flat to E flat. I'm on your side is B flat. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water. A flat, I will lay me down, like a bridge, over troubled water. I will lay me down. So that was all the left hand part. Let's try that one more time. I'll try to mess up a little bit less this time. And then we're just, it doesn't matter which ones you play where. So there might have been some times where I played an E flat down here or an E flat up here. It totally doesn't matter. Usually, in general, I like the lower sounding one. So I will usually err on the like playing it too low side. Like this C, like feels nice and powerful. This one, I don't really care for it as much, but sometimes out of convenience, I'll pick, some of the higher ones. So I like generally the lower notes. I'll try to pick lower notes on purpose this time and see if we can see what that would sound like. So, when you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them well. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. All right, so that is all the stuff that we would do for the intermediate level. The chords part, but we did all of the roots in there. So I think it's time to move on to the advanced part of the lesson. Let's go. Oh, yeah. No, let's do it in the advanced part, the breakdown. Okay. Hopefully something has made sense so far, because getting into the advanced portion of the lesson, I usually don't even know what's coming up next. So this is just the time where we answer any obscure question, we follow any crazy idea that comes up, and we find out how deep this rabbit hole goes. Good luck to us all. Okay, so now we want to go in and throw in all those chords that we were ignoring before. So a couple different ways to do this. Probably the less popular way, or the easier way, and an important way to start is to put the chords in the left hand. So weary, this is an E flat major chord. So we want those three notes right there, E flat, G, and B flat. Those make up the E flat major chord.
Sound is now robotic again because it glitched.
That's really irritating. Okay, well, let's fix it. Can you go to the?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, so then we've got the E flat chord, and then we've got the A flat over E flat. So an A flat chord is going to be A flat and C and E flat, and then we want that to be over an E flat. So then that means that we want the lowest note to be E flat. So we want to play the A flat chord, but we're just going to rearrange the notes so that E flat is the lowest thing that we're playing. So if I could do this with two hands, I would probably just drop out that note because I can't reach it, or at least not conveniently, and I would just play this. So this would be an A flat over E flat. Then we go back to the E flat chord after that, and then over here we can just play a regular A flat chord, which is A flat, C, and E flat, and then D flat major chord is going to be a D flat, F, A flat. And then we're just back to, once you can play those, then we're back to the regular A flat and E flat. And this is kind of difficult here because of just how quickly you have to change them. So this would be a really great practice on playing each of these chords. E flat to A flat over E flat to E flat, A flat, D flat, A flat, E flat. So that right there should take a considerable amount of practice to get those all down. And if you want to just try some of the chords here, and then just wherever it's too difficult, just go with the roots, that's perfectly acceptable too. So you could play, you can start off with an E flat chord and go to A flat over E flat, and then E flat, and then on this next session, just go A flat, D flat, A flat, E flat, and not even play the whole chords. But if you want to, you got them now. And then the F minor is going to be F, A flat, and C, and then E flat, and then A flat, and then E flat, and then A flat, and then E flat, and then we're going to go to a B flat chord, which I don't think we've had yet. This is a B flat and a D and an F all at the same time. So then if we just, if we can rewind here just for a second, I'm going to just say the words out loud and try to play the chords, which is what I would recommend. If you already played the roots and you can play the melody and do those both together, then just start practicing the chords. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. So obviously the next thing to do is to incorporate the actual notes from the right hand in there. But I'll go ahead and throw that in from now on. But you can see kind of what the progression of this thing is. You need to work on these chords until you can play those smoothly. Oh, when times get rough. And at this point, we're going to throw in the 7 on an E flat 7, which would be the note that is one whole step or 2 half steps below the root of the chord. Let me say that again. So we've got an E flat chord. The root of an E flat chord is an E flat, and then we want to throw in the note that is 2 half steps below that. So that'd be 1 half step below that, and that'd be 2 half steps below that. So this is an E flat 7 chord. So we've got an E flat to an E flat 7. So rough. And then we play, and friends just can't be is the F chord, and that's going to be an F and an A and a C. Before we had an F minor, which was F, A flat, and C, but just a regular F chord would be an F major chord, which is F, A, and C. So careful not to get those confused. And then B flat, E flat, B flat, A flat, and these are all chords we've done already. And then over troubled, this is going to be an E flat chord, so E flat, G, and B flat, but we want the lowest note to be that B flat. So again, we're going to rearrange the notes in our chord so that the lowest note that we would have would be a B flat, so an E flat chord on top with the lowest note being a B flat. So we just rearrange those notes, and I'd probably play that. Then a C chord is going to be a C and an E and a G. So play all those together. And then A flat we've already played. Then a B diminished chord is going to be B, D, and F. Sounds super weird when you play it. Your brain's going to go, surely that's not right. It's right. So B diminished, and then C minor is C, E flat, and G. Then we go to E flat, B flat, A flat, and then E flat over B flat. We've already played all these chords. This is the repeating part. Water, I will lay me down. If we were going to do all of that together, that would be something like, when you're weary, feeling small, your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Okay, so we've got all of those notes, all of those chords, and then maybe the next thing would be to just try to play around with some of that stuff, to just like maybe play these one note at a time or something, anything that is not blocking all of these notes together. So when you're feeling small, literally anything other than just playing them all together at the same time. So some examples of, I'm going to play the exact same thing I just played a second ago, same chords in the same position, in the same everything, except I'm just going to like alter the order in which I play the notes. So an E flat could be this, or it 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 could be this, or any of that. So I'm just going to play the exact same notes, but in different orders. Let's see how that goes. So literally didn't change a single voicing or anything, just played the exact same notes in a different order. And then, as many of you know, if you've been to these application lessons before, this is where we kind of get crazy and we just go, all right, so we've got an E flat chord right here. When you're weary. Well, first of all, we can play that melody anywhere we want. So we don't have to play when you're weary. We can play when you're weary, or when you're weary, or when you're weary, or when you're weary. This is all the exact same notes, just in different octaves. So we can do that wherever we decide we want to change it to. And that E flat chord doesn't have to be E flat and G and B flat. It can be E flat and G and B flat, or E flat G B flat, or E flat G B flat, or E flat G B flat, or any combination of E flat, G, and B flat that we want. So then we can play that anywhere, and we can even incorporate it into the right hand if we wanted to. So some examples would be when you're. So I just played the exact same thing, but I played when you're we're right here. I played an E flat and a B flat and a B flat and a G. So I just like play the exact same thing, but try to tuck a couple of those chord tones, a couple of those notes from the chord in the right hand while I'm playing that melody up top with my pinky and my ring finger. With these other fingers, I try to incorporate some of those chord tones down lower. And eventually that starts to sound like this. Ah. Or other options. So then next week we take all of those same exact chords and stuff, and then we like try to like put in some other substitutions for that, and we just play the same melody but with different chords, or whatever the opposite of that is. Same chords with a different melody, and we try to mix all this stuff up so we can do our own piano covers of it. But that would be like a pretty straightforward cover of this thing, which is pretty much just all the stuff we discussed, where we play the melody, try to focus on keeping that as the highest voice, and then underneath that we're just filling in chord tones. But hopefully there was something in there that was like, oh yeah, I think my brain caught that, but my hands can't quite do it yet. And if not, if you feel like that all made sense, and you're ready for the next step, then next week we're going to be doing the reharm of this thing, and that'll get pretty crazy, but that should be a lot of fun. And whatever it is that you're working on, whether it's this or something else, send me a video of what you're working on, and let's take the next steps on whatever you're excited about. Till next week, explore, mess up, have fun.